the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now, entertainers.
Breaks through a couple tackles, making people miss. Touchdown! Now play action, fires over the middle, pass it is caught. Touchdown, Deer Park! Give it to him out of the backfield. Touchdown, Deer Park! Homecoming night here at Abshire Stadium. Mason Pratt alongside Shane Creel getting you ready on a gorgeous Friday night. Deer Park getting ready to play host to the Wolverines of Clearbrook. And Deer Park riding that 3-game winning streak, including 2-0 now in district play, and looking to make it 3-0 in district. Taking on Clearbrook tonight, and the Wolverines coming in struggling 0-5. They've had a tough start to the district schedule. Clear Springs and Dickinson, that's about as tough as it gets in this district to open up your district play.
Certainly, nobody wishes to go against that kind of schedule at the very beginning of the season. But I think if you're Deer Park and you see something on paper that makes you think we should win this game and win it handedly, you want to make sure that you're firing on all cylinders, you're executing. And I'm going to sound like a broken record probably from last week to this week to the next week, but being even more disciplined and more on top of the guys and making sure that the execution is there, and we are getting better week to week, no matter what the type of competition is you're playing or what you perceive the competition to be, right?
Another opportunity to improve on the record, on the field, and a packed Abshire Stadium here for homecoming night here in 2025. And the confetti comes flying in. Roebuck leading the charge. And the Deer making their way out to the field here. Just about 5 minutes to go until kickoff. And the Deer Park offense took a little bit of time to get things going last week in that one-sided win over Clear Creek. Ended up winning 44-6, but it was the defense that kind of helped spark things, sparked by the pick six by the big man Brody Bailey.
Yeah, it's always fun to see the big guys get involved like that and get to run the ball some. I just really have appreciated what the defense has been able to accomplish, and kind of some of the turnaround that you've seen that they've had from the beginning of the season. And that's something you expect to see as every season goes along. It's just been a little bit more pronounced with the defense, and you like to see just kind of a steady stride of improvement with the offense and the defense as the season goes along.
And going back to the second half of that Clear Falls game a couple of weeks ago, that's really when that defense has kind of flipped that switch, and they've been on another gear since then. See if they can continue that momentum tonight against an offense in Clearbrook that is struggling. But we're getting ready for the national anthem here from Abshire Stadium. We'll take it over to the PA announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the singing of our national anthem by the Deer Park High School Swing Choir and presentation of colors by the Deer Park High School JROTC Color Guard.
Commander Cadet Command Sergeant Major Aiden Ganey. Co-Commander Cadet Second Lieutenant Samira Flores. Right Guard Cadet Second Lieutenant Lauren Wilson. And Left Guard Cadet Captain Caden Hood. And now, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the
Almost ready for kickoff here on homecoming night. And the parking lot looking especially full tonight. Cars still trying to make their way in here to Abshire Stadium.
Homecoming.
That'll bring them in. Got the big halftime ceremony for the homecoming court. The band going to be performing post-game, I believe, at least according to our notes. So if you're sticking around for the band, that'll be happening after the game tonight. But on the field, Coach Flynn looking to make it 4 straight wins after starting the year 0-2 and trying to improve to 3-0 in district play.
I think one of the biggest things, and it's, again, broken record, but just kind of the constant steps forward throughout the season is one of those things that you love to see from your program and your team, your coaches, and everybody. Deer Park's no exception there. But when you have those games on paper, like I mentioned a minute ago, where you feel like you have the upper hand, it's vitally important that you are hard and coach them hard and don't let any slip-ups, because anytime you let off the throttle, you ease up on your discipline, your keys, what your job is on every play. And once that slips up, when it comes to a harder game on paper, you're going to be in big trouble. So.
And going back to the realignment, since Deer Park has been in the same district with Clearbrook, going back to 2022, whenever Deer Park got thrown in with the Clear Creek ISD schools, Deer Park 3-0 versus Clearbrook. Won last year handedly, 63-7. But we'll see what Clearbrook and a struggling Wolverines team can bring in here to Abshire Stadium.
Deer Park has won the toss and elected to receive. Shake hands, let's play ball.
Ref's mic is working for sure.
That scared the tar out of me. That was loud in my ears. Yeah, and I think whenever you look at Clearbrook, you do see some really good things. You got some athletes there, and so you cannot let up at any point, and I can't stress that enough. It does not matter who you're playing. You can get beat any given Friday, so you got to be on point.
And if the Wolverines are going to turn around and make a run towards the playoff spot, it's got to start tonight. And we talked about the hard schedule that they've had to open up. District play, taking on Clear Springs and Dickinson. And now Deer Park, 3 playoff teams from a year ago. Wolverines going to try and build something here tonight so they can finish out the stretch and maybe fight for a spot.
A little surprised to see Schroeder's not back deep this week, returning initially. You got the young buck, John Arthur French, in his spot.
John Arthur French, Trace Yates back deep. And Ricardo Posito has the ball teed up at the 40. Take a short run at it. Be a little surprise onside here from Clearbrook
Good
on the
Lord.
opening kickoff. And the Wolverines needed something to happen from the get-go, and they do. Surprise onside goes the Wolverines' way.
Got a flag both ends of the.
Boy, how deflating would that be for Clearbrook?
You got to attack if you're a frontline return.
We had an illegal formation on the kicking team. Ball will be re-kicked.
That's one of the things I'm talking about right there. I mean, you gotta be disciplined and still playing your position right there. I know they're not lined up for an onside, but as soon as you see an onside happen, if you're a frontline guy and it's coming towards you, you've got to attack it right there at that 10-yard mark. You can't just sit back and hope it's going to make it to you. Dodged a bullet for sure.
Deer Park going to get another crack at it and see how Clearbrook, without that element of surprise, approaches. And now ball pushed back to the 35. Boy, it would be bold if they went for it again, wouldn't it? Now you have Deer Park kind of clustered together there in the middle of the field. Now they break the huddle, see if John Arthur French will get a chance at it here. Looks like Placido is going to take a deeper run at it. And a line drive kick. It'll be Trace Yates from about his own 11-yard line. Mishandles it initially, now picks it up. Trying to go far side of the field, makes his cut, 25-30. Yates out past the 40, trying to outrun the special teams. Trace Yates crosses the 50, and a great return on the opening kickoff all the way to the Wolverines' 33-yard line.
Sure was, and he had just a nice gaping hole right in the middle of that formation where they sealed it off both ways, and all he had to do was put the foot on the gas, and he was gone.
Running back putting the vision on display, finding the hole.
You know, that initial bobble might have even helped set it up even more as far as timing goes, so you don't ever want to bobble return, but could have been fortuitous in that instance.
LaFrenz leading the offense out there. 1st and 10 from the Wolverines 33. Now they will shift. Empty backfield look here on 1st down.
Number 2 or number 3 receiver right here in the middle of the field.
LaFrenz steps up, keeping his eyes downfield. Now breaks the pocket, steps up, sidesteps a man, and keeps the feet moving. Going to be close to the 1st down as he takes it inside the 25. LaFrenz, the team's leading rusher, showing a little bit of the reason why right there.
He's always a danger whenever he's got the ball in his hands. And when you shift to an empty set like what they did right there, wasn't a lot of shifting on the defensive side of it. Lets you know they're in some kind of zone coverage. But he didn't have the initial look maybe that he wanted to go to and was able to make something happen.
Was enough for the 1st down, and now another design quarterback run by LaFrenz up the middle. Sidesteps, little jump cut, taking it down near the 15. Looks like a pickup of 8 there.
Yeah, a little power read right there. They got the jet motion coming right as the ball is snapped to see if they expand a linebacker out. He takes it downhill, falling in, or I guess it's more of like a counter read right there with 2 blockers pulling.
Now over 275 yards rushing on the season. Picks up 8 there. 2nd down and 2. Loaded up backfield here. Trace Yates, the deep back, gets the call. Looking for a hole along the left side, takes it inside the 10, powers through an arm tackle to the goal line. Trace Yates, touchdown. Got the drive started with the kickoff return and caps it off with the touchdown run there.
That's a fun formation to run power out of, where you get into a wing set like that and you're able to block out, double team. You get one puller coming around, and he's able to kind of just pick his gap following his puller to run to daylight.
15-yard touchdown run for Trace Yates. Just his 2nd touchdown on the ground this season. Gets Deer Park on the board. Not even 90 seconds into tonight's ball game. And PAT got enough over the crossbar, but it's through. 7-0 Deer Park. 10:35 to go.
Couldn't tell if that ball was laying flat on the ground when he kicked it or what. It was kind of weird. Maybe someone got a hand on it.
Yates powering through some of those arm tackles and outstretches to the goal line. And boy, what a just huge change in momentum that opening kickoff penalty was. Clearbrook had the surprise onside recovered. Illegal formation negated that. Deer Park takes advantage.
Great execution on the offensive side of the ball, and you want to continue to see that every single time you take the field. Everybody's doing their job. Blocks are being made, staying on the double team, working up to the next level. Receivers downfield making blocks whenever it's a run game play or running play. Defense's turn to show how they've improved through the week.
Just 3 plays needed on that drive to go the 33 yards needed for the touchdown. Garcia Mutate with the ball teed up. Strong kick with the wind at his back, and it'll be Clearbrook from their own 5. Jaden Dansby tries to find a hole. He's got one along the left side, gets through 1 tackle and bumped out of bounds finally. Now past the 30. Little spark there for the Wolverines, and a player down for Deer Park down inside the 20.
Oh no, that's Dingo.
Caleb Wingo down on the play. Got some time at quarterback last week. Was flying over the field at that linebacker spot as well.
good all-around athlete. You hate to see anybody down, but somebody that's just a plug-and-play type of athlete like he is. Really hope he's able to hop up and get over this quickly.
On his feet, trying to shake it off a little. We'll check on him as the night goes on. But Clearbrook, following that return from Dansby, going to start this drive at their own 32-yard line. It's an offense that has struggled. It's a defense that has struggled for Clearbrook. Offense averaging just over 14 points per game. And a defense that has given up over 57 points per game on the year for Clearbrook. So Samuel Alfred, the quarterback, with Jaden Dansby in the backfield.
That's a
Alfred shotgun set, looking towards the sideline now. Plenty of time on the play clock, and now Dansby will shift. High snap over the head of Alfred. It's a race back to the ball, and he's just going to have to jump on it all the way back at the 15. High snap goes over the head of Samuel Alfred, the junior quarterback, and on the Wolverines' first play, they lose about 15.
I was distracted. This is the first time I think I've seen an umpire with a skateboarding helmet on. But you gotta protect yourself. You're the umpire.
Right there
You're right in the middle with the linebackers and everybody.
All the action. So 2nd and 27. Alfred from the shotgun. 4 wideout set here for the Wolverines on 2nd down. Looks right, dumps it out to Dansby out of the backfield, turns it upfield, tries to make a man miss. Kyler Ferris is there for the initial contact and thrown down hard at the 20.
Pretty simple little bubble there. They got a couple receivers going downfield, kind of reading that outside linebacker. Number 1 receiver kind of comes back and is blocking the outside receiver pretty darn close to when that ball is getting there. And so you've got to watch out for that. If you're Clearbrook, you don't want to be blocking while the ball's in the air, that's for sure.
3 wideouts, far side of the field here. 3rd and 22. This pass rush for Deer Park going to be able to just pin their ears back. Alfred under pressure. Thomas Johnson is there, combining for the sack. He, along with Benavidez, both defensive ends, get to the quarterback there on 3rd down.
Great coverage on the back end and great rush by the front 4. It's exactly what you want to see out of your defense starting the game off.
And the senior captain, Thomas Johnson, fights through the block of Dansby. Yeah, defensive end on running back. Take that. So Schroeder waiting on the punt, back at midfield. Good looking punt. Schroeder backpedaling, going to let this one bounce. Takes a Clearbrook roll inside of Deer Park territory. And it will be down right at the 40-yard line. So the Deer Park defense force a 3 and out on their opening drive. Deer Park already on the board offensively. See if they can build on that. But just the start you were looking for on both sides of the ball for Deer Park. Just under 4 minutes gone by.
I'm curious to see a few more plays of their offense if they kind of go back to that swing. You know, Deer Park likes to line their outside linebackers up pretty, almost at middle linebacker depth, and so it makes them a little bit more.
Quick throw, screenplay for Schroeder, waiting for blocks to develop. Now working back towards the middle of the field. Look at Schroeder go all the way to the far side of the field before he is finally tackled after picking up 9, but a flag thrown right in the middle part of the field, and they're going to toss it back to the Deer Park 45.
They're going to get him for holding, I believe. Great job by Schroeder just being an athlete and going to open space. Sometimes it puts your guys in a
Got holding, number 9 on the offense.
yeah.
10-yard spot from the foul, still first down.
Sometimes that puts, especially your receivers who are out in space, it puts them kind of in a hard position sometimes where they're setting up for where they think the run is going to go, and then all of a sudden he bounces it, and you're on the other side of the guy, and the guy's trying to pull away from you. It's like, oh, man, I got to let go. But going back to that initial thought about kind of the defense and their alignment of their outside linebackers, I'd just be curious to see if they do some more of those swing passes, the way the outside linebackers line up at depth.
1st and 14 following the penalty. LaFrenz takes the snap. No pressure. Dangerous throw. Pass complete. Braylon Aston Jackson slung down hard right at the point of the catch.
Man.
Colin Landry
thought for
breaking on
sure
it
he
quick.
had him by his head. It looked like they might have been trying to set up a little bit of trickery there. It was kind of hard to tell if it was like a delayed bubble by the receiver. Maybe he was going to try and throw it again. I couldn't tell, but he certainly looked like he got yanked by his head, didn't he?
Yeah, Landry came
Face mask.
in there.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, you see the head jerk from
Heaven's
Aston Jackson.
sake.
2nd down, 22. LaFrenz going to go deep ball. John Arthur French deep downfield, fighting through contact inside the 30. Going to draw the flag.
You know, the defender was in pretty good position most of that time, kind of step for step, inside
defensive
hip.
pass interference, number 2. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Hailing, the freshman, called for the penalty.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand his fear when you see the guy maybe has a half a step on you and his eyes are getting big, looking up, like, oh, no, I can't give up a big play. But, man, that's just unfortunate. I didn't think he needed to.
Yeah, like you said, Hailing had pretty good position. Looked like almost hip to hip. About as tight as you could have played it. A little too tight, and the pass interference sets up Deer Park with a 1st and 10 from their own 43. Zuniga, the running back, gets the pitch play here. Comes near side. Great cut up the middle. Now back towards the 50. Reverse in field. Follows a block from Schroeder inside the 30 and wrestled down at the 28. Great looking run from Zuniga.
Yeah, you know, I feel like we haven't really seen a ton of that kind of, it's like outside zone blocking scheme by the O-line, but with a pitch on the front end of it. And it's just a lot of good spacing and gives them a chance to see it from depth and then make the cut and cut it back to open space. Good block downfield by Schroeder as well.
1st and 10, ball at the Wolverines' 28-yard line. Aston Jackson motions into the backfield. Fake the toss to him. Again, LaFrenz was looking deep downfield. Now buys all kinds of time. John Arthur French opened, kept working downfield, and it pays off with a touchdown.
Well, you're right. It does pay off. He had all kinds of time. The O-line was just strafing with him as he moved around. Nobody was putting pressure on him, and John Arthur French was running a post initially and sees it kind of break down. The quarterback kind of flush a little bit, and then he just breaks it off into going to the sideline.
John Arthur French now tied for the team lead in touchdown receptions. He along with Schroeder, each with 5 on the year. Extra point up and good, and Deer Park off to about as much of a perfect start as you could have asked for. And here you see LaFrench just buying time. John Arthur French working to the open space downfield and gets away from Hailing, the freshman.
That was a heck of a windup by LaFrenz right there. Kind of has that little Lamar Jackson act start and then stop, and then he just kind of lets it rip. Throwing it from center field almost, what it looks like.
6:21 to go. First quarter, Deer Park on top 14-0. 13th touchdown throw on the season for the sophomore LaFrenz. Deer Park giving a lot to this home crowd to cheer about here in the opening first few minutes of this first quarter. So Dansby and Haling back deep. See if they get a chance. And Dansby backpedaling all the way into the end zone. He'll bring it out from about 2 yards deep. Stacked up, and he is not going to get through, or is he? Keeps fighting off tackles, and now Dansby turns the corner. And slung down, still shy of the 20, but good job to even get back to the 18 from where he was initially stacked up.
Man, I would be telling him to bring it out no matter where he is, because he certainly got some speed to make something happen. And, you know, whenever it's a return situation, you got guys spread out. If they're not staying in their lanes, people kind of collapse a little too early. There's always a chance for a home run ball.
See what the Wolverines do now. They'll have 1st and 10 from their own 18. They fell behind the sticks early last drive after a bad snap over the head of the quarterback, Samuel Alfred. First down here. Dansby, who just had that return in the backfield. Send the man in motion now. Play clock at 5. Alfred takes the snap. Oh, he loses it. Back inside the 10, and Alfred tries to jump on it. He's unable to do so, and Deer Park recovers the fumble. Everything going against the Wolverines here. Alfred unable to handle the snap, unable to jump on it. And Deer Park going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
You almost get the feeling that it's he's a little bit snake bit, or he feels like it's maybe just
Benavidez on the fumble recovery.
When it rains, it pours.
So Benavidez with a half sack on the night, and now a fumble recovery. Good start for Benavidez tonight as well. 1st and goal for the Deer Park offense. Starting this drive at the 8. Load up the backfield. All this almost like a diamond formation here. Delayed handoff for Yates along the right side. Stutter steps near the line of scrimmage. Keeps his feet moving down to the 4.
Pretty good play. I can't tell if that was the backside inside linebacker or the safety that came through and made that play. But it looked like Deer Park was going to have more blockers than they had defenders. Basically running power with an extra lead guy coming through to block, and made it through there and probably saved a touchdown with that tackle right there.
See what Deer Park does here. 2nd and goal. Yates, the deep back. 2 tight ends shift over to the left side. Paradise might be leading the way. Yates again gets ahead of steam and gets to the end zone for the 2nd time tonight.
Well, you know, they're doing a lot of gap scheme power running, and right now Clearbrook is not very gap sound with their defense, and so they're really taking advantage of that.
Yates got downhill in a hurry. Hit that line almost at full speed. 5:23 to go. Deer Park trying to make it a 21-point advantage, and they do. So a 3 and out from your defense, a fumble recovery from your defense, and your offense like a hot knife through butter. Yates, who had 1 touchdown on the season on the ground coming into tonight, he's got 2 here halfway through the first quarter.
Feels like it might be a good night to boost some stats. I don't know what to tell you right now. It's all going Deer Park's way. It's just I'm at a loss for words, honestly.
Yeah, it's been a rough go for Clearbrook, even just through the first 6+ minutes. Even just center to quarterback exchange.
I think they've only run 1 play. Is that correct? 1 play has successfully been executed. The swing pass?
Yeah. Yeah, they went backwards with the high snap, swung it out to the running back, and then got sacked on their opening drive. And then lost the fumble there on the first play there. Dansby again backpedaling, takes it again from his own end zone, waiting for something to develop, finds space again. Big hit put on at about the 18-yard line or so. He powers off of it, bounces ahead to the 21.
Look, from what I've seen on his ability to return the ball, the guy needs to be taking the snaps and running the ball. I'm telling you, like, he's got some great ability to vision, man.
Dansby, the senior running back.
They're giving him a breather right now, but I'd be like, you're getting ready to go right back out there. Just get him the ball.
And Dansby going to get a little bit of a breather. Looks like Cullen Landry will check in. All kinds of confusion here. Landry was coming onto the field, lining up. So tight to the line, empty backfield look. Alfred rolls the pocket, looking for somewhere to go. Little out route, pass is complete up ahead to the 25, and about the most successful play of the night for Clearbrook.
Just a quick little sprint out. Hits the guy on the flat. The other two guys are pushing the safeties down, safety and corner down the field. Kind of an easy completion. I'd go right back to something like that.
That TV Dodd, number 6 on the reception, picks up 5. Landry stays in there with those orange cleats. Now lining up to Alfred's left at the running back spot, 2nd and 5. Give it to Landry. Met right at the line of scrimmage. Bailey there to greet him in the middle and force him backwards.
Well, Brody Bailey was a wall right there, taking on a block and then just smothering the running back. If that was a read play, I was like, man, you should have definitely kept that ball because it was blown up from the minute the ball was snapped.
Senior captain there to greet Landry right at the line of scrimmage. Actually going to lose a yard. So mark it down as a tackle for loss for the D tackle. 3rd down. Now motion a man out of the backfield. Alfred looks right, throws, curl route, batted away. Kyler Ferris right in the hip pocket there of Palacios. A flag thrown, it looked like near the line of scrimmage. Penalty going to go against Deer Park on the offsides call.
Somebody turned his mic off.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, there he is.
We knew it was working earlier. So it was enough for the 1st down with the penalty yardage. Gives Clearbrook new set of downs. 1st and 10 at the 31. Hand it off to Dansby. He tries to find a little bit of running room and just a swarm of maroon jerseys there to greet him. Bailey along with the linebacker Lex.
There was no option on that one. If you're doing zone read, I mean, he hands off the zone running play, but even if he'd kept the ball, I mean, there was a guy right there for the quarterback, and O-line is dominantly winning the battle up front. Or the D-line is winning the battle up front. Sorry.
2nd down and 10 from the 31. 3 wide receiver bunch to the far side of the field. Alfred looks that way, quickly gets rid of it. Pass complete and slung down. No yards after the catch. Anthony Lopez Rojas there on the tackle. Had an outstanding interception last week. The one-handed one.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, their most successful plays have been these just kind of real quick, short yardage passing plays where they're finding some soft spots and see if they continue to try and take advantage of that.
And now Landry in there, going to take the snap from the Wildcat spot. Easy to pick him out with those orange gloves and cleats. He along with Dansby in the backfield here for 3rd down. Landry fakes the give, tries to go right up the middle, nothing doing there. And it looked like Thomas Johnson, first one making contact, or was that Benavidez? Either way, defensive ends off to a great start tonight for Deer Park.
Yeah, Johnson kind of just played it both ways right there. He initially kind of looked like he was going to go towards the back coming across Dansby, and then as soon as he pulled it, he just collapsed inside on the. He played it both ways, and good job by him.
And Alex Espinoza, the defensive lineman, the punter, standing back at his own 21-yard line, waiting on the snap, and he boots it away. Schroeder backpedaling and will make the fair catch at the 25. Espinoza got all of that one.
Power behind that leg.
So ball spotted at the 25-yard line. Punt of 39 yards. But it had some velocity coming off the foot. 2:26 to go. Deer Park 3 for 3 on their drive so far tonight. Been set up nicely a couple times. 2 drives they've started in Clearbrook territory. Not the case here. Actually, their worst starting field position of the night at the 25. LaFrenz on play action. Now buys time, fires over the middle, has Schroeder wide open out past the 40, and Schroeder going to be brought down from behind. But picks up a first down up ahead to the 44.
It was a great job by LaFrenz right there. Schroeder is just basically running and sitting down in a soft spot in the zone as well, and then Schroeder kind of has to work his way even more to the middle of the field. So his initial, he's kind of doing a little pop set there and wanting to throw. It's not there. LaFrenz just resets and waits for him to come open and comes back across his body, and great job by both receiver and quarterback.
Deer Park offense going with a little tempo here. 1st and 10. LaFrenz again, all kinds of time. Fires a sidearm towards Braylon Aston Jackson, but too far out in front.
Very delayed crossing pattern he's doing from way down here, and couldn't quite see where the pressure came from, but there was certainly pressure in his face that affected the throw.
Brings up 2nd down and 10, 2:01 left here in this opening quarter. Three playmakers down near the bottom of your screen again, trying to get Braylon Aston Jackson involved, and again too far out in front, incomplete.
And he wants that one back, because if he gets one block right there, he's got another blocker up ahead, and he might be running for a little while.
So 3rd down and 10. John Arthur French, the lone wideout, far side of the field, almost bracketed, but he's going to go that way anyway, and that ball going to be deflected and incomplete. Trying for the hard count, and
cannot believe we didn't get any flag right there. Maybe my eyes are deceiving me, but I certainly felt like somebody was kind of a little bit in the no-no zone right
Deer
there.
Park's offensive line thought the same as well.
Oh, yeah.
You have Yates out there throwing his hands up like
snapping the ball.
I think LaFrenz thought he had a free play with that one. But Deer Park goes 3 and out. 3 straight incompletions and going to punt for the first time tonight.
It's not what you want to happen whenever we talk about really staying disciplined and working on execution, that's for sure.
Mason Hill with a chance to boot it away, and Chase Landry back inside his own 10, fields it at the 5, and now going to try and make a return out of it. He's just going to have to extend to try and get back to the 10, but he's going to be marked at the 9.
That was a great punt, good coverage. Gunners getting down there fast, breaking down. So we get to see another phase of the Deer Park football team, their punt team, come down and execute well right there.
And Mason Hill able to pin back this Clearbrook offense inside their own 10. 81 degrees here at game time on a packed Abshire Stadium here for homecoming night. So Alfred back out there at quarterback with Dansby to his left. And 3 wideouts near side of the field. Play action. Alfred had trouble, just tries to get rid of it. Heads towards the sideline. Deer Park bench wants an intentional grounding.
But I don't think the ball ever went past the original line of scrimmage.
Had to get to about the 10 and a half based on the initial spot. Alfred was under pressure when he let that one fly. So no flag, 2nd and 10.
I wonder why.
Four wideout set here on 2nd and 10. 3 to the near side, and Alfred takes the snap from the pistol formation, hands it off to Dansby. He's got an initial good hole, but it closes quickly as Brody Bailey meets him just a couple yards downfield and maybe even right at the line of scrimmage. But Dansby hit that hole with a head of steam, but
Man, he was flying.
quickly stopped with Brody Bailey right there in the middle.
Left tackle looked like he pass set, so it's almost like a draw play, but there's not much delay to it. It was just a give it and runs downhill. Bailey was a wall again, ready to catch him.
Ball at the 12-yard line. 3rd down and 8. Alfred buys time, sidearm throw. Pass is going to be complete. Up ahead to about the 17-yard line. Not enough for the first down on the TV Dodd's second catch of the night. And once again, Clearbrook punting unit going to have to head out. Well, like you said, this has about been their most successful play. These little quick out routes, curl routes, nothing really downfield has developed so far for Clearbrook.
Yeah, and he's out. I mean, if it's something that he's able to get away pretty quickly, and right there, you know, they kind of roll the pocket, sprint out, and hit the out route right there on the sideline. Ooh.
This punt not nearly as deep as it falls at about the Clearbrook 25, takes a little bit of a Deer Park hop, and going to be down at the 22. Deer Park knocking on the door of the red zone already.
I know Deer Park's hoping that somebody touched the ball, but they definitely ran into the punter, so I guess we'll find out right here.
Yeah, flag thrown back inside the 5.
There is no foul on the play.
There you go.
The defender was blocked into the punter. First down, Deer Park.
Deer Park will take that, and once again, just everything going Deer Park's way, nothing going the Wolverines' way. Saw something different? Deer Park will start this drive at the Wolverines' 22, already on top by 3 touchdowns.
Tell you what I would not be doing is throwing the ball.
Why?
Well,
see, you don't even have a good enough reason.
the last time they threw it 3 times and had to punt the ball. Mason?
It's all about progression, working on the little things.
I think you were the one that said you wanted him to score 100. Did you say
That's-
that?
That was no, that was not. You're mistaken. 1st and 10 from the 22. Pistol formation. Zuniga, the deep back. Stretch play. They do keep it on the ground. He tries to turn the corner, cuts upfield to 15, and bumped out at about the 10. Great block on the edge by John Arthur French. Allowed Zuniga to turn that corner.
You know I'm giving you a hard time. Sometimes whenever it gets kind of starts getting out of hand early, you're having a little bit too much fun. But I'll tell you what happened right there that I really like seeing is the young receiver John Arthur French out there on the edge, man. He's maintaining a block for a long time, and then once it gets to that point where I can't keep this going, he lets go. He's not called for anything, but he also sealed the edge to allow for a great run right there.
Well, Deer Park was heading towards the other end of the field thinking the first quarter was done, but since he went out, still 2 seconds on the clock. Play clock at 3 as they just keep it back on the ground. Zuniga up the middle, keeps powering towards the goal line, and he caps off the first quarter with a touchdown run. Well, 3 touchdowns on the ground in that first quarter. And as the buzzer sounds, first quarter comes to an end. 11-yard touchdown run by Zuniga, who got his first career touchdowns last week in the win over Clear Creek.
I hope my boy Paradise is okay. He was kind of the lead, or he's the second puller on that play right there, and I think he got a little bit of friendly fire at the end of the play by Zuniga, and he's kind of slow coming off too. And he's someone that does a lot for this team. Blocks, catches the ball. He's in there for just about everything.
Yeah, like you said, just kind of got rolled up on there at the very end. Touchdown run by Zuniga. Extra point is good. 28-0 after the first 12 minutes of play here. Homecoming crowd getting a lot to cheer about here through those first 12 minutes.
Yep, the homecoming crowd is packed. A lot of energy down there in the student section. Well, not in this particular second, but when we're scoring, there's a lot of energy.
It's about as packed as I've seen the parking lot in a long time. There's still cars lined up going out towards Center Street. Even minutes into the end of the game, you got trucks parked out on the grass. Packed house. So Jaden Dansby and Haling, the freshman defensive back who's been matched up against John Arthur French, are the ones back deep, but it'll be a high pooch kick, and it'll be Landry from his own 28. Shifts by the first wave, stutter steps, and brought down just shy of the 40 as Cullen Landry with a decent return to help out the field position for the Wolverines.
Well, they might have decided they had enough of Dansby almost breaking it on those deep kicks. They said, we're not going to go back there to him anymore. Tony Hawk with the flag on the play, I think.
Is a flag back at the Deer Park 48. Get the call here.
Man, offsides on the receiving team.
Goodness.
5 yards, re-kick.
Clearbrook just unable to catch a break. Second penalty on special teams tonight. There you see total offense for Clearbrook, -9. Deer Park already over 100, almost 140 yards.
Oh, goodness, there it is. I was like, where are you?
It was
where are
on
you
the big,
seeing this?
It was on the big screen.
Oh,
they
man,
brought
yeah.
it back to our monitor as well.
Man, I really.
Just one first down for Clearbrook so far tonight. Been tough sledding.
Yeah, I thought with a couple of those quick passes downfield, it was going to be a little bit maybe more in the black and the positive side.
Ball pushed ahead to the 45. Garcia Matate going to get a chance. Going to be kicking into the wind. See if he'll still just let it rip. And he does. Haling will let this one bounce into the end zone for the touchback.
My favorite kind of kickoff.
Ones with no drama.
No return is the best return.
So the ball will be brought out to the 25. Clearbrook is trying to find something to build on, and we've seen a few of the little hitch routes and things like that work for them. Are they going to be able to sustain a drive like that and march down the field with that type of efficiency?
I think it's definitely doable. It's something that when they've done it, they've had success with it. It's a lack of commitment to continue. Maybe mix up some variations of it, right? But
Alfred takes the snap, fake the give to Dansby. Keeper by Alfred hesitates at the point of attack, and he's going to be dropped right at the line of scrimmage as well. Gabriel Salidas making the stop for Deer Park, and this defensive line
look, you don't
having a great game.
You don't have to be, a football expert to know that number 0 for Clearbrook needs to be the guy getting the ball right there. In my opinion, you just let him have a couple opportunities to run with it, throw it out in the open space.
Instead, he'll lead block for Cullen Landry, who again trying to go through the middle part of this defense, and Brody Bailey and this defensive line are just feasting on this offensive line for Clearbrook. There is nothing doing in the run game for the Wolverines.
Yeah. They haven't heard our football tactics to go to the quick passes like they were.
So 2 straight running plays, nothing gained, and just like that, it's a 3rd down and 10 for Clearbrook. 3 down linemen for Deer Park here on 3rd down. Alfred checks back in at quarterback. Dansby lined up along the offensive line, stays in the block, rolls that way. Now they're going to throw back for Dansby. He's back inside his own 20. Brody Bailey chases him down at the 16. Wolverines go backwards.
Well, I guess I get kind of the little wrinkle that they were doing off of kind of this sprint out, but they throw it back the other way, but there's just zero velocity when he turns around to try and throw this ball. So he has to come back to it and gives big man there time to squish him.
But a great job by Emmanuel De La Cruz, who was right there. Even if Dansby would have caught it clean, had no running room.
Nope.
And Espinoza back on to punt. Standing inside his own 5, but looks like Wolverines might have burned their first time out here with 10:07 to go in the half. So another drive where Clearbrook loses yardage, now at -18 for the game. Following the timeout, Espinoza already coming on for his 4th punt of the night. Going to have the wind at his back. Already seen the power off the leg of Espinoza.
Well, I mean,
Oh my
heavens.
gosh.
I'm bleeding out of my ears.
Espinoza boots it away. And Schroeder fields it from about the 49. Makes one man miss, spin move, and take it down at about the 44. Almost broke it. Schroeder.
I'll tell you what's broken are my eardrums.
You ain't lying.
Is that you? Are you in control of that?
It's not me.
Who's in control of that, Mike? That thing is loud. Probably Jared. You know, I don't know.
You know, he came down here before the game, said he was messing with the crowd mic volume. Crowd mic's fine. Referee mic is what we might need to look at. Another drive. Deer Park going to start on the plus side of the 50. 1st and 10 from the 44. Yates will motion out. And LaFrenton's going to have an empty backfield. No, just kidding. Yates motions back in. Now Braylon Aston Jackson mishandled the snap, unable to give it to him, so LaFrenz will just take off up the middle. Now cuts back out to the right side and takes it inside the 25 and delivers a little punishment down to the 20.
I mean, I love the way he runs the ball, and, you know, being a young guy himself, you like just the energy and everything. That was, first of all, 3 different guys motioned, and so they were really moving some guys around to open this up, but he hits it downhill. Kind of lowers his shoulder at the end. I think as he gets a little bit older, coach is going to be really getting on to him a little bit more. Hey, look, man, this not going to make much of a difference if you just run out of bounds right there.
4 wideouts, far side of the field, but they go on the ground. Yates up the middle. Lowers his shoulder, just keeps his feet moving and powers his way near the 1st down line, but he picks up about 9 there on 1st down.
Well, it's kind of a sign of the way the game's going when you can run zone with nobody picking up the D end on the backside of zone, and he still gets 8 yards or whatever that is.
Down to the 12. Yates will stay in there at running back. The Friends looks left, scans under pressure, now escapes the pocket, goes towards the goal line. John Arthur French a little bit behind him. Couldn't make the adjustment, and incomplete.
A lot of pressure there pretty much initially, so, you know, he might have had Yates right out of the backfield quickly if he wanted it. He was looking downfield a little bit more, but I think you feel pretty comfortable. You can line up and run the ball also if you want to in 3rd and 4th down.
It'll be designed quarterback keeper as LaFrenz tries to turn upfield, picks up the 1st down, spins off a contact at the 5, and gets the pile pushed all the way to the end zone. Unreal. Touchdown.
Unreal. Man, I think he got his jersey grabbed in first contact at about the 6, maybe 5-yard line, and he just pulled some people along.
Touchdown
hulked
run.
out at the goal line.
Yeah. Touchdown run number 4 on the season for the sophomore quarterback. And Deer Park with a 34, looking to make it a 35-point lead. Good snap. Hold is down. Garcia Mutate's kick up and good. 35 points already on the board here. As here you see the touchdown run by LaFrenz, shaking off tacklers, spinning off another one.
Oh, he took initial contact way before I thought.
It took the linebacker. Montez Hadnot, the senior, just took him for a ride all the way to the goal line.
You know, it's always so nice whenever you can run your plays and execute and score at the end of it. But I can't emphasize this enough. You do not want to look over the negative plays that you still have just because the score is what the score is. Those negative plays at this point in this game are probably more something that you've got to really focus on for the games coming up, the Dickinson, the Clear Springs towards the end of the season, you know. Got to really be able to fix those negative plays that you still have.
And that would be just making sure you're not missing the easy throws like we saw on the one drive where they went 3 and out.
Right. And
another booming kick. Haley from inside his own 5 tries to come back towards the near side, brought down hard right at the 20-yard line on the return by the freshman cornerback. And the kicker in on the stop.
Yeah, it's always fun when
Headhunter.
Yeah, he's getting after it. I felt like it was pretty good coverage. Everybody was kind of in their lanes, and he just got in there and got a piece of it, didn't he?
Sure did. Brought down by Garcia Mutate on the return. Defense back to work with 8:37 left in the half. And this defense has been just as on fire as the offense. Dansby standing in the backfield, and he might just go direct snap. So Jaden Dansby, senior running back, empty backfield look for him, takes the snap. Dansby, quarterback draw up the middle, and Dansby with lots of running room out past the 30, out past the 40, stays on his feet, and Dansby crosses midfield. Dansby on a foot race down the far sideline and takes it inside the Deer Park 20.
Well, I was wondering how long it would take them to just make sure the best guy on their team gets the ball nonstop, and finally, there he is in the wildcat position. They spread them all out. You don't have too many guys in the box, and he just takes off.
Mark him down at the Deer Park 18.
You know, you got to give I feel like you got to give your D-line a little bit of a heads up there when they're going empty, you know, spreading out everybody. Like, can't be up the field quite so much as they are right there whenever it's a running quarterback like that. Play a little bit flatter, and you'll be able to prevent him from just squirting through the middle.
61 yards for Dansby. Handed off Landry on the jet sweep, and he takes it down inside the 10-yard line. Mark him down at about the 7.
Well, I thought for sure we had a hold in the middle of the play. I don't know if I accidentally said it out loud in the middle of your call. I apologize, Mason. But come on.
So Landry picks up the first down. So back-to-back plays. A little bit of a spark from Clearbrook. Have them knocking on the door. First and goal at the 8.
I tell you what, defensively, it'll get you slowed down on what you're doing whenever you got a quarterback that can take off with it. Got to
motion Landry. Keeper by Dansby tried to take it himself, but slung down in the backfield. Woo. Sebastian Torres not letting Dansby escape there.
And he was about the only guy left, him, and if he bounces this thing, he might be going to the house, but he grabs on and latches on and doesn't let go.
Torres slings him down back at the 14-yard line. Some other district scores. Springs on top of Brazoswood, 26-7. Dickinson rolling through Clear Lake, 44-0 so far in that one. And Falls with a 14-point lead over Clear Creek, 14-0. Second down and goal from the 14. Dansby again keeps it himself and once again goes backwards.
Well, maybe Dansby needs to, he's probably hasn't done a lot of those reads like that, but
Benavidez.
they're pulling guys from that right side. Well, when they're pulling them away from the right side, the D end and D tackle on that side are just getting free reign at the quarterback. If they're not expanding with the motion, you give it.
That's their second of the first half.
You give it to the
They have
motion
one
guy,
minute.
and he's got kind of maybe some open space to run, hopefully. But there is nobody going with the motion guy as far as the D line and D end is concerned right there. So maybe he's just not sure what he's reading. He's thinking, I'm just going to go backyard football and go make a play, right? But he got crushed.
Back-to-back plays with the Wolverines going backwards. That's now the third different quarterback we've seen take a snap. We saw Alfred, number 13, and then Landry took a couple snaps at quarterback, and now Dansby.
Single-handedly got him probably back in the positive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where sometimes you got to throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And if he's the one getting you the yards, you just start training him up a little bit more on what is he looking at as a quarterback if you're going to run some of those read plays, because it probably was not an actual read for him. It just looks like it.
Yeah.
But if you can get him to actually read it, then he can either give that when those guys are crashing in on you, or you can keep it if they expand.
Dansby going to have to put it in the air here on 3rd and goal from the 19. Nope, he's going to try and take it up the middle and only gets ahead for a couple to maybe the 17-yard line, and I'll set up 4th and goal. So I'm going to try for the field goal attempt to try and get on the board. Posito coming on. It'll be about a 35-yard field goal from the middle of the field. High snap gets away, and Posito just going to have to jump on it back at the 27. Center exchanges all night have been an issue, and it comes back once again to bite the Wolverines as they again fail to get on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I know you're thrilled. The shutout is still alive. Like you. But it was a little bit of a wake-up call when Dansby took that first snap. The speed, the ability, the vision. It's like, whoa, we better get a clue right here defensively. When he's taking the snap, it's a little bit different. We got to be real disciplined. Read our keys.
Another whistle comes in. False start. Going to back up Deer Park 5.
False start. Number 74, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Oh man, get him out. Get him out. Get him a chance to get right. That's what That's what I'm talking about. These games where 35-0. That's a small thing this game, right? But if that doesn't get fixed, and it happens, oh my heavens, that is just rude. Turn your microphone off first, right?
Yeah. 1st and 15 following the penalty. Back on the ground, Zuniga with a good carry across the left side. Big hole up the middle, now bounces it to the left and takes it out past the 40. About a 20-yard run there. Gets all that penalty yardage back and then some. First down run for Zuniga. I
tell you what, big boy Bustamante, he kind of made up for it very next play. He's out there, getting out in space, getting up on looked like an outside linebacker and helping block way down the field. That was a good job by him. Watch him, he's down there.
First and 10, trying to get to Braylon Aston Jackson, able to extend it all the way to the sideline, tries to spin off the tackle at the 45, but unable to get by the grip of Cullen Landry. Still does a good job to pick up about 5 when he was 5-6 yards behind the line of scrimmage, trying to get away from the defenders there.
Cullen Landry got the gloves with some real stick-em on them because he latched onto that jersey and wasn't letting him spin out of it for sure.
Second down at 6. Schroeder, John Arthur French, split out, far side, looking that way. Sidearm throw, snagged by Schroeder at the 35. Jump cut, inside the 20. Schroeder all the way to the house for the touchdown.
A lot of good execution right there. Pass protection starts with the O-line. Great routes by both him and John Arthur French. John Arthur French just blowing the top off of it by sending basically a seam or a skinny post up the middle. And then he flattens it out with like a dig route. Comes underneath, quarterback lasers it in there. A little bit high, but he jumps up, makes a beautiful catch, and then everything else is Schroeder with his legs. Good job by him. I mean, we're used to seeing him make just excellent plays, and that's another one right there.
Yeah, great playmaker after the catch, and he does so there. He goes 54 yards, and Deer Park extends the lead. Shane says, don't put it in the air. Deer Park says, no, we are. Touchdown throw number 2 for LaFriends.
Third and long. It's okay. You can put it in the air.
Great cut there to get by. Again, the freshman defensive back, Hailing.
Yeah, and I mean, they're kind of on pace for what you were hoping for. And so
42 points on the board. Still with 4:39 to go in this first half. Well, Clearbrook found a little bit of a wrinkle that worked on the last drive. They just had too many negative plays down the stretch once they got to 1st and goal.
Yeah, I mean, if they can really do some different looks with the QB run game and just handing it off, if he's going to stay back there taking snaps, I mean, we don't know if he can throw it yet or not really, but
yeah,
that would be, I mean, even just being able to throw a little quick hitch or a swing route or something just to kind of keep Deer Park on their toes would really open it up for them.
Deep kick all the way to the goal line. Another touchback. Going to be brought out to the 25. Yeah, if you're going to have Dansby back there, you can't be entirely one-dimensional.
Right.
Deer Park outgaining Clearbrook 261 to 44. And of course, 61 yards of that offense coming on the ground on that Dansby run last drive. There you see the numbers.
You know, when the yardage is just so much greater on one side than the other, you would expect the time of possession to be a little bit more one-sided, but they've actually significantly winning the time of possession battle.
Alfred back in there at running back, looking at an empty set here. Deer Park defense still trying to get situated. Now Dansby get a motion in. Fake the give to him. Alfred under pressure, fires at the seam, well short of the intended target. Chase Landry, number 4. That's about as deep of a throw as we've seen from Clearbrook so far in this first half.
Little bit of miscommunication there. I think he was expecting his receiver to break it off a lot sooner. He was just, oh.
4:35 left in the half. All Deer Park in this one so far.
Roughing the passer. See that? That's another one right there. Like just the unnecessary penalties. Gotten rid of the ball. Kind of a shove in the back, I think, is what it was. As after the ball's gone, got to eliminate that. Period. I mean, it doesn't matter who you're playing, what week. Got to eliminate that.
Gives Clearbrook a little bit of life. Ball pushed up to the 40. New set of downs. Once again, an empty backfield look to the start. And once again, get a motion Dansby in. And coming in from the backside. That ball nearly undercut, but had Nativi Dodd hold that one in, he might have had a lot of running room in that middle of the field.
Yeah, I mean, it was hit him right in the hands.
I'm not sure if that was Wojtek or not that was trying to undercut it, but he nearly got the pick, and I think kind of caught Nativi Dodd a little bit by surprise that it got through him.
Yeah, well, whenever, I mean, when the ball disappears for just a split second and someone runs right in front of your face, it gets there even faster, and it is a harder catch to make. He makes that, it's going to be potentially a first down.
Head coach for Clear Brook, former Deer Park defensive coordinator, Patrick Sanders, is here 2019 through 2021, defensive coordinator under Coach Flynn. Left to go be the head coach of these Wolverines right before the 2022 season started. Kind of a late hire in the summertime. He didn't start until about July. It's got to be a quick, tough turnaround when you're asked to start the season in basically a month.
Well, yeah. Hopefully he'd gotten a look at kind of what they were doing schematically, getting there, and was able to kind of just do a little bit more game management type stuff. Hopefully, I don't know what the rest of his staff, how much of them was turned over, right? But
now in his fourth season, Wolverines 0-5 here in 2025. Offensive lineman shaken up. Had trouble getting to his feet. Aiden Green being helped off. So it'll be 2nd and 10. Ball still at the 40-yard line. And it looks like they might go back to Dansby from this Wildcat formation. By far the most success that they've had tonight has come from this formation. Empty backfield. Landry motion him in. Keeper by Dansby up the middle. Gets a little bit of a push. A decent gain of about 3.
yeah, I mean they're kind of using the motion, hoping to. It's really doing nothing right now. When he's back there in the backfield, you'd almost be better off just going to empty and just kind of almost running like a zone blocking scheme up front and seeing if he can find a cutback.
Tight end Michael Perez lining up in the kind of H-back position there. Leading the way for Dansby on that last run. See if he does it again here. 3rd down and 7. See if Dansby going to try and put it in the air. He will. Rolls the pocket, buys time, throws off his back foot, has a man open downfield and a little bit underthrown, but it's actually going to help out the Wolverines because it's going to draw the pass interference.
Yeah, that puts your when you're a DB and you're not trying to get beat deep, but then that ball is thrown short and they're slamming on the brakes. Oof, that puts you in a tough position. It actually had quite a bit more air under that ball than I was expecting with him running to the sideline like that.
So they're going to get the sophomore Caden Gladney on the pass interference, and once again, 2 penalties by Deer Park, giving first downs to the Wolverines on this drive. Basically 30 yards of freebies.
Yeah, that one's a little more understandable. I mean, obviously you don't want to have any penalties, but that one right there is it's just sometimes you can't avoid collisions when they're slamming on the brakes and you're not quite sure where the ball's at.
3:37 left in the half. 1st and 10. Dansby calling out the play at the line of scrimmage. Ball at the Deer Park 42. Low snap. Dansby corrals it under pressure. Pocket starting to collapse, trying to make a man miss in the middle of the field. Slipped, lost his footing, but he and Wojtek meet right at the 40-yard line, and Dansby a little bit slow to get up.
You know, it looked a little awkward when he planted and tried to cut back on that left leg, but he is He is. Every time he hits the ball, you're waiting for something exciting to happen. Cleat maybe slipped out from under him, but never like to see someone go down with a knee or something like that on planning in football. So many of those ACL injuries happen just like that. Almost no contact. You're planning and
saw that late in the game last week against Clear Creek.
yeah.
But something I thought was cool at the end of that, Eddie Lopez, who was involved on the tackle whenever that player for the Wildcats went down, they were testing his knee on the sideline. Even after the game, Lopez going across to that Clear Creek bench, checking on the quarterback.
Yeah, the sportsmanship right there was just was great to see. It was after everybody gone through the handshake line. Instead of going over to the team to jump and cheer and do the team song, he immediately went over there on the sports medicine table on their sideline to check on him.
2nd down and 9. Alfred back in at quarterback. Landry stays in to block for him, takes a deep drop, going to sling it deep downfield. Wide receiver's got a step, but couldn't hold on to it at the 5.
Man,
Sykes able to knock that one away.
Sorry, he got real lucky there. I'd be careful hopping up and giving the the no-fly zone type incomplete pass celebration, because he was beat handedly. If that ball gets there in a little bit more timely fashion, that's a touchdown. Now, he did do a great job of opening those hips up, running and making up ground. But, man.
Looking for Rabouche deep downfield. Got just enough in there.
Yeah, good job
Rabouche had to work his way back to the ball a little bit.
Yeah, he raked that arm in there. That was good defense right there on that part.
3rd down to 9. Dansby back in there. Good to see him back out on the field. Buys time. Rolls the pocket right again. Going to go deep. Looking for the home run ball. Contact deep downfield. Going to draw another Deer Park pass interference penalty. Sykes going to be called for this one.
Well,
this time looking for Josh Carter deep downfield.
Dansby did enough right there to buy himself some time and kept his eyes downfield and heaved it. It was just underthrown again, and again, Sykes is not sure where the ball's at, so he's just running to catch up to his man, runs through the man before the ball gets there. It's an easy penalty right there. And
basically the penalties are what are driving this one for Clearbrook.
Unacceptable
on this series.
And I tell you what, the referee's a little upset right now. His mic's been cut off, but I'm okay with it.
Our ears are more than happy to have that. 1st and 10 for Clearbrook. Handed off to Landry. He's got a good hold along the right side. Loses the football, and Deer Park going to jump on it. Kyler Ferris is there.
Man, that was a perfect read. I mean, they've been trying to run that power read, or they give it or keep it, give it or keep it. He finally gave it right there, and he turns it upfield. I mean, that's going to be a 15-yard gain, and, oh, man, it gets slapped out. Let's see. Who was it? The safety came in. Oh, no.
21.
Yeah, came in and struck at it with that fist, and great job there by him.
Mason Hayden on the forced fumble. Deer Park able to recover their 2nd fumble of the night. And they'll take over at their own 9-yard line. Just under 3 minutes to go in the half. And Deer Park already making a change at quarterback. Jake Blair, the senior, in there. Handed off Trace Yates. Stutter steps at the line of scrimmage. Makes a man miss. Great run by Yates. Out past the 30. Look at Yates go. Crossing the 40. Taking it inside Clearbrook territory.
Man, you know what? I think I really underestimated him earlier in the season. Like, he does have a burst to him in a second level of speed that you just didn't really get to see a ton of. And maybe there just wasn't a ton of big holes being opened up by some of those early games. But right there, his patient running and then bouncing it. And then as soon as he bounces it, you see him shift gears, and he's flying up the sideline.
Back on the ground. This time Zuniga with a good hold. Back cut towards the middle of the field. Another 1st down run. And Deer Park marching quickly here after taking over. Yates with 47 yards on that last run. A new season high.
It's just power football, gap scheme. They're finding they're opening up some pretty big lanes, pulling a guard.
Yates checks back in. Blair handed off to him again. Working towards the middle of the field, hesitates, gets by a man right at the line of scrimmage. Yates weaving his way through the defense all the way down to the 5-yard line. There was a linebacker back there who had completely turned around. Yates went right by his back.
Yeah. Was it a linebacker or a defensive lineman? I could see he was kind of, yeah.
Number 24 just had no idea where Trace Yates was.
He was getting mauled and kind of spun around, and yeah. Snuck behind him there.
That'll take us to the 2-minute timeout. Deer Park going to have a 1st and goal from the 5. Another 28 yards for Yates on that run. And Deer Park, they've gone 86 yards in just 3 plays. Once again, knocking on the door. Yates now over 100 yards on the night. Well, see if they'll let Yates cap off the drive that he was such a huge focal point in with a touchdown, maybe.
Well, I don't think he's going to get it this time.
Zuniga going to come in after the 2-minute timeout. Haven't seen Christian Gamez yet tonight. Kind of surprised by that. 1st and goal from the 5. Zuniga checks in. Heavy up front for Deer Park. Zuniga gets a chance. Back cut towards the left side. Tries to power his way towards the goal line. Going to be stopped shy of the end zone at about the 1.
One of the few zone plays we've seen tonight from Deer Park, which is usually I feel like they're a heavily zoned team and normal, I'd say normal, and percentage-wise, they seem to be a little bit heavier zone team. But this game has been a lot of the you got pullers, gap running.
They'll have 2nd and goal here from the 2. Couple of tight ends stack along the right side. Zuniga again just powers his way, lowers his shoulder through the middle part of that defense, and once again, he finds the end zone for the 2nd time. 4 touchdowns on the ground between Trace Yates and Zuniga. And even Zuniga coming up on the 100-yard mark. Now he's got 87 on the night. Deer Park an extra point away from matching their season high here in the 1st half against Clearbrook.
Everyone's contributing. And we're going to see even more people probably after halftime. So there's going to be even more people.
A lot
with
of reps.
Opportunities. I'm, curious to see if I don't think he's going to be in the game. Oh, Wingo.
Handed off to here's Landry. what He's got started the drive. Right side. Clearbrook was marching, lost it
And
inside the Deer Park 10-yard line. Ferris with the fumble recovery, and then Trace Yates went right to work. Steps at the line of scrimmage, makes a man miss.
Let's
Great
be
run
honest,
by Yates.
marching
Now
is
past
a
the 30.
strong
Look
word to describe
striding.
a couple of penalties that gave him first downs.
That's true. Working towards the middle of the field,
And
hesitates, gets by a man right at the line of scrimmage. His way Yates through that weaving defense. his way through the defense all the way down. Tight end stack along the right side. Zuniga again just powers his way, caps off the drive. 49-0. Deer Park cruising. Took Deer Park just 5 plays to go 91 yards, less than 2 minutes off the clock. Minute 10 to go here in the half.
Well, I guess Dansby's totally okay.
Yeah, looks to be.
Faked me out when he laid her on the ground for a little while.
Pooch kick falls inside the 35-yard line. Deer Park had a chance to recover, but
Man,
just
no
unable to jump on it. Sykes, I think, was the first maroon jersey down there, just unable to locate that loose ball. Fortunately for Clearbrook, they've had enough things go against them tonight, not go their way. So I think a penalty on Deer Park. They're going to just take the yardage, not elect for another kick. So ball at the Clearbrook 37 or 38-yard line rather. Dansby in there with an empty backfield. And Dansby has his time initially, now escapes the pocket, looking for a lot of running room, a lot of green in front of him as he crosses the 40, gets by another man at the 30. Dansby stumbles his way inside the 10.
Man, ankle tackle. Looked like that was one of the DNs way downfield.
Yeah, looks like Thomas Johnson all the way downfield.
Michael Benavides maybe 90. I couldn't tell, yeah, which one of them it was, but one of them tripped him up and saved a touchdown because the speed was on display right here. You can't quit on the play. Yeah, I think that's Michael Benavides,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
wow, what an
Man.
effort. Shoelace tackle there. First and goal, Dansby again. Keeper bounces it to the right side, again stumbling. Turf Monster nearly got him, and it did. No touchdown as he's taken down at the 1.
Oh, I don't know who had the contain right there. Somebody on, I don't know if Wojtek came inside and the DN was supposed to have contain, but one of them was wrong because there was no contain on that side.
Dansby tried to keep it himself for a third straight time. Nothing doing. Going to lose a couple here as he's whistled down. Clock stopped with 25 seconds to go. 126 yards of offense for Clearbrook.
Where are we putting the ball?
Dansby with 118
What?
of that 126.
Am I confused? Why is the ball on the half-yard line? Was there a flag I missed? Oh, there was an offsides call. Okay, I missed it.
So once again, Clearbrook getting some yardage due to Deer Park penalties after Deer Park had blown the play up. Dansby takes the snap again, just going to get a push from Landry towards the goal line. And Clearbrook finally finds the end zone. Jaden Dansby putting the team on his shoulders. Here we get some applause from the Deer Park crowd. Jaden Dansby, he's going to be needing the ice bath tomorrow morning for Saturday practice.
Tell you what, I wouldn't mind if he moved over to Deer Park ISD. The boy's got some wheels, that's for sure.
Extra point through the uprights and good, and with 18 seconds to go in the half.
Oh, he's a senior.
Clearbrook finally finds the end zone. Jaden Dansby, senior running back, doing it literally all for the Wolverines.
Well, again, the broken record comment's going to be playing a lot these last week, this week, next week, until we get to Clear Springs, I think. But some of the the penalty yardage, right there, loss of contain before the touchdown. I mean, those are things that you got to be hard on the players, and you got to be hard on your coach. You got to be hard on yourself. And you got to really coach them hard in those instances because those could be the difference between winning and losing a really tight game.
Yeah, 7 first half penalties on Deer Park. Most of those coming on the defense. 7 penalties, 68 yards going against Deer Park. Deep kick and John Arthur French just going to watch this one sail into the end zone for the touchback. Deer Park probably just going to take a knee here and finish out these final 18 seconds. But Jaden Dansby has single-handedly dug Clearbrook out of what was a negative total yardage hole for most of that first half.
He's one of those players that, man, if the conditioning's right, you got him out there on the field going both ways. You know, safety, middle linebacker, wildcat quarterback on offense. Man, he's one of those guys you really want to utilize.
And Blair is just going to take a kneel down here, and we are going to hit halftime all Deer Park in the first 24. Deer Park, they match a season high in points, 49-7. At the break, Deer Park offense puts over 350 yards of offense out there in the first half. 246 on the ground. We'll be back with more. Clearbrook band, I believe, going to play first. We'll have the Deer Park band for you post-game and also during halftime, the homecoming festivities. It's all coming your way next. You're watching Deer Park football on the Deer Network.
It's time to live up to your promise. Have you heard about the Promise at San Jack Scholarship? The scholarship offers money to help cover books and tuition for high school graduates from the San Jacinto Taxing District. Go to sanjac.edu/promise to submit your pledge and application for a debt-free degree. San Jacinto College, we're changing impossible to I'm possible.
At Shell Federal Credit Union, banking but better is waiting for you. With only a $5 initial deposit, you can bank with Shell FCU if you live, work, worship, attend school, or regularly conduct business in Harris County. For over 86 years, we've been committed to helping Harris County residents build their dreams, and we're just getting started. So if you're dreaming of a new home, a new car, a higher credit score, or more money in your savings, let's build your dream together.
Thank you, Deer Park, for welcoming DAG Law Firm and trusting us for the past 2 years. We are still here for you and will always be right around the corner.
This is a special week at Deer Park High School as we welcome our alumni to come home, reminisce, and join with current students to support and take pride in our community and school. If you are a Deer Park High School alumni, we ask you please stand at this time so we can honor you tonight. Thank you, and welcome home to Deer Park. You may be seated. Before we begin tonight, we'd like to take a moment and thank the Deer Park Band, the Deer Escorts, and the JROTC for their part in making tonight's ceremony so special. We would also like to thank our advanced floral design class for providing the flowers for the homecoming court and their escorts tonight. Over the past several weeks, our students have nominated and voted on representatives for their class. Students who reflect the values and cultures of our student body. We now introduce the 2025-26 homecoming court and their attendants as selected by their classmates. Representing the freshman class, Eliza Perez. Eliza attends North Campus and is a member of the Deer Park softball program. She's also involved in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Eliza is the daughter of Gerardo and Crystal Perez. Tonight, she is escorted by her father, Gerardo Perez. Sophomore attendant, Janessa Campos. Janessa is a two-year member of the junior varsity cheerleading team and proudly represents her school on both the state UIL and national competition teams. Last year, she had the honor of performing in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City. In addition to cheer, Janessa is involved in AP Spanish 4, choir, and the DP Photo Club and photography. She is the daughter of Esteban and Maricela Campos. Tonight, Janessa is escorted by her father, Esteban Campos. Junior attendant, Maggie Valdez. Maggie is a dedicated member of the Student Council and two-year member of the Spanish National Honor Society. She's also involved in the Business Professionals of America, takes AP Spanish 4, and has served as assistant photo editor of the yearbook for the past 3 years. Maggie's the daughter of Daniel Balderas and Manuela Valdez. Tonight, she is escorted by her father, Daniel Balderas. We now introduce the 2025-26 homecoming king and queen candidates representing the senior class. Nicholas Garza. Nicholas Garza has been a part of the Deer Park football program all 4 years of high school and currently plays on the varsity team. He was also a two-year member of the Deer Park track team and is involved in the PALS program. Nicholas plans to attend college at the University of Houston and major in business and finance. Nicholas is the son of Freddie Garza and Nicole Martinez, and tonight he is escorted by his mother, Nicole Martinez. Lila Diaz. Lila is a varsity cheerleader and has been a part of the cheer program for 4 years. She's a 4-time member of the UIL cheer team and 2-time NCAA American. Last year, she had the honor of performing with the cheer team in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York. Lila is a member of the PALS program and has also been involved in AVID, and the Best Buddies program throughout her 4 years of high school. She plans to attend San Jacinto College and enter into the sonography program to become an ultrasound technician. Lila is the daughter of Victor and Giselle Diaz. Tonight, she is escorted by her father, Victor Diaz. Alan Sanchez. Alan served as student council president at North Campus during his freshman year. He was the student life editor of the yearbook as a junior and now serves as the editor-in-chief of this year's edition. Alan is also a member of PALS, where he serves as historian. He plans to attend either San Jacinto College or Texas State University next fall and major in communications. Alan is the son of Francisco and Sandra Sanchez. Tonight, he is escorted by his mother, Sandra Sanchez. Zoe Ramirez. Zoe is a 4-year recipient of the Academic Achievement Award and a 3-year member of Mu Alpha Theta. She also served on the Student Council for the past 3 years and is a 2-year member of the National Honor Society. Zoe has also represented her school as a junior ambassador for 2 years. Dedicated to service, Zoe has volunteered with the Special Olympics for 4 years and is a 2-year member of the Best Buddies program. After graduation, Zoe plans on attending Texas A&M University to pursue a career as nurse's midwife specializing in labor and delivery. She is the daughter of Aaron Ramirez and Vanessa Rodriguez. Tonight, Zoe is escorted by her father, Aaron Ramirez. Andy Warwick. Andy is a 3-year varsity letterman and 2-year captain of the Deer Park basketball team. He was named the team MVP as a junior and also plays for the Miles AAU Basketball Club. In addition, Andy is a member of the PALS program. Still undecided on where he will attend college, he plans to major in business in college next year. Andy is the son of Philip and Lindsay Warwick. Tonight, he is escorted by his mother, Lindsay Warwick. Audrina Silva. Audrina has been a varsity volleyball player for 4 years and is serving as the senior captain this year. She also played varsity basketball for 3 years and earned second-team All-District honors in both volleyball and basketball during her junior year. In addition to athletics, Audrina received the Academic Achievement Award all 4 years of high school. She was also voted class favorite in both her sophomore and junior years. Audrina is a proud member of the Science Honor Society, Spanish National Honor Society, and the National Honor Society. Audrina is the daughter of Adrian and Beatrice Silva, and tonight Audrina is escorted by her father, Adrian Silva. Assisting with the crowning tonight is the 24-25 homecoming king, Isaac Aguilera and Julie Andrews. Julia is attending the University of Houston, pursuing a Bachelor of Business Administration with a major in management and a minor in entrepreneurship, while also following her passion for baking and working toward becoming a pastry chef. Isaac currently attends Oberlin College at Ohio, where he's pursuing a Bachelor's of Science degree with a double major and a Business and Hispanic Studies. He currently is the freshman representative of the Latinx Alliance Association and a committee chair to the Student Finance Committee. Congratulations to all of our attendants and to the senior court. Deer Park High School, your 2025-26 homecoming king is Alan Sanchez. And your 2025-26 homecoming queen is Audrina Silva. Now being escorted from the field, the 2024-25 homecoming king and queen, Isaac Aguilera and Julia Andrews. Freshman attendant, Eliza Perez. Sophomore attendant, Janessa Campos. Junior attendant, Maggie Valdez. Senior attendant, Nicholas Garza. Senior attendant, Lila Diaz. Senior attendant, Zoe Ramirez. And senior attendant, Andy Warwick. And let's give a big round of applause for the 2025-26 Deer Park Homecoming King and Queen, Alan Sanchez and Audrina Silva. Thank you to all the alumni for your continued support of Deer Park High School, and go Deer!
Well, back here at Abshire Stadium, getting you ready for the start of the third quarter. Homecoming festivities wrapping up, and we are just about ready to get back underway between Deer Park and Clearbrook. All Deer Park in that first half. Mason Pratt here alongside Shane Creel, who was spent halftime reminiscing.
Yeah, seeing some good buddies from back in the day when we used to dominate this field. It was a lot of fun, and we appreciate you handing over the money you promised whenever. Didn't quite have the shutout in the first half. I'm kidding.
I'm a man
kidding.
of my word, I guess. Kickoff is underway. Clearbrook going to receive. Dansby, who was the spark for the Wolverines in that first half, gets the kickoff, tries to bounce it to the outside, and gets up ahead just past the 20-yard line. He was the entire offense for Clearbrook in that first half. Wolverines with 127 yards of offense. Jaden Dansby with 119 of those yards, all coming on the ground.
Well, I suspect they got into halftime and probably coached him up some more, and we're probably going to see a lot more of him here in the second half. I don't want to look over right there. Just on the kick coverage, Mason Hayden, I believe that's who it was in coverage. We've seen a couple of decent plays from him.
Yeah, had a forced fumble in that first
fumble
half.
And tackle in the open field right there was just great coverage.
So Dansby receives the direct snap here on first down. Tries to find a little bit of running room. A little bit there up the middle, up ahead to the 25.
I mean, he is a slasher for sure whenever he runs the ball, and he's looking for just a little bit of a gap in that zone, inside zone running scheme there. And if you give him a little bit of a gap, he's going to take it.
And even the few times that he's passed the ball, he's been able to at least draw some penalties on this Deer Park secondary as well. So Dansby staying in there at quarterback. It has been what has worked for Clearbrook. Handed off. Landry up the middle. A lot of maroon jerseys there to swarm him and bring him down after another short gain of 3.
Yeah, we got quite a few new faces out there on defense right now. So, well, I say new this game. And so eager to see the same type of execution that we had in the first half carry on with this group.
See what they can do here on 3rd down and 4. They show pressure off the edge before backing out of it. Now Dansby calling out the change at the line of scrimmage. Play clock at 7. Again, rolls the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, going to go deep downfield and easily picked off back at the 35. Bringing it back the other way, it's Mason Hayden again. What a night he has had. Forced fumble, and now with a pick, and returns it to the Clearbrook 46-yard line.
Yeah, just a really nice job of getting his head around, finding the ball, and a pretty easy interception in terms of the interceptions that you might get. Landed right in his hand, right in his breadbasket almost.
Hayden just coming over and undercutting that throw from Dansby.
David Perez staying off just long enough at that corner position to make sure he's not called for anything while the ball was in the air.
Jake Blair, who finished out the first half at quarterback, starts off the second half in there. Gamez, the running back, first time we've seen him. Instead, they'll go jet sweep. Nothing doing there for Cameron Collier, the junior wideout. Trying to find some space along the outside. Nothing doing. Gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, they're just running a kind of a power read where it's power to the quarterback. It looks like if he wants to take it downhill, or he can hand it off, and it's basically blocked up like outside zone on the perimeter. Right there, I mean, I felt like if he wanted to come downhill with it as a quarterback, he certainly had some good flow by the linebackers going outside, but
keeper by Blair this time. Gets a block along the left side. Picks up the first down and then some inside the 30. Good looking run. Good blocking on the outside.
It was well executed, well read by the quarterback. So, I mean, he's basically reading that outside linebacker, and the jet motion guy leads up on him once he sees that he keeps it. And he kind of got a 2-on-1 blocking situation out there on the perimeter.
Mark him down at the 29, 1st and 10. Sends Collier in motion, but the give is to Gamez up the middle. Powers his way down inside the 25 to the 24. Another 5-yard pickup for this running attack for Deer Park. Had over or close to 250 yards of
going back to the gap scheme right there, and just kind of jet motion one way, and then they got 2 pullers coming back the other way on counter, handed off to Gamez and letting him get downhill with it.
And that is what he does best. We've seen it a lot at the goal line throughout the year. He gets downhill quickly. He'll line up as the deep back behind Blair here on 2nd and 5. And a stretch play for him along the right side. Now makes a good cut towards the middle of the field and taken down at the 10, setting up a 1st and goal for Deer Park.
Man, I feel like, you don't see a ton of the stretch like that you just don't see them run it as much as maybe the success of it might dictate, because when they run that, they get some good spacing on it. That thing opened up like the Red Sea right here.
Yeah.
Great job. It was the right guard, I want to say, just washing his guy laterally and opening that thing up.
1st and goal, ball spotted at the Clearbrook 9-yard line. Gamez staying in there. Alex Garcia, Luke Lloyd, 2 tight ends, shift over to the left side. They go play action out of it. Blair keeps his eyes, goes towards the end zone, has a man open for the touchdown. Garcia wide open.
The big man gets another one. They had, he did not have the first level, and I was a little worried Garcia maybe didn't get a little bit of more depth on his route, but I mean, it was a great throw by Blair and great hands by the big man.
Garcia, who had a nice catch last week in the win over Clear Creek, I believe gets his first touchdown catch of the year. Extra point on and good, and now a new season high point total for Deer Park as they hit 56-7. They take the opening offensive possession for the touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, he leaks from the opposite side of the field, as does the fullback who's underneath him, and he wisely goes to him in the end zone.
Throws the hand up, says, get it to me.
Get it to me. Difference is the fullback's coming across the formation to make it look like zone, and he leaks from the other side of the formation from the tight end position to get a little bit more depth. Great play. I want to say that might have been the exact same play that he caught last week. Very similar kind of boot action where he's coming across the field like that.
Yeah. Senior gets a touchdown catch on homecoming night. Blair also gets his first touchdown throw of the year. Nice for both of those seniors. Kevin Ibarra now doing the kickoff duties for Deer Park here in the second half. It's like he'll take a short run up to this one. We've seen several special teams penalties on kickoffs tonight. This will be a high short kick. Fair catch going to be bobbled, and ball still loose. Deer Park might have recovered this, and I think they did. Down near the 20-yard line. Rome Jordan, who was making the fair catch signal, couldn't haul it in cleanly, and Deer Park comes away with the recovery.
Oh man, cardinal sin of return guys. If you have to be taking, if you got to be going backwards, and there's guys behind you, there's a good chance they should be the ones calling for the ball, because you don't ever want to be drifting backwards when you're returning a kick. Yeah.
How about what a night for Mason Hayden? Fumble forced, now a fumble recovered. Just had the interception a few moments ago. Showing up big on the stat sheet.
Get him that PT, coach.
Offense right back out there at the Clearbrook 21-yard line. Keep it on the ground. Fighting for every yard and inch possible. I think Gamez was in on that carry. He gets it down to about the 15, so a tough 6-yard run there. Gamez, he just keeps those feet moving, very hard to bring down.
Yeah, I mean, they're just having some great success with the counter play. And, you know, they're pulling a big guy and using him to kick out a defender. Then they're wrapping around the fullback to lead up on a guy. And by the time the kick happens, the wrap is leading up in there. And so he's just following him right up in the hole to some nice, strong yardage on first down.
Deer Park sitting at 399 yards of offense tonight. Over 11 yards per play. They've just been able to do pretty much whatever they want offensively tonight. Done well on the ground. The Friends had some success through the air. Only put in the air 10 times, 5 completions, but still over 100 yards.
So, yeah.
A little bit of everything. Second down and 4. Back for Gamez. Now going to bounce it along the left side inside the 10 before making another cut and getting down to the 5. Picking up another Deer Park first down.
They're getting a lot of movement with, you know, the front 5 big boys, and then you got receivers that are downfield blocking. It's just it's a good effort by everybody right now on the field, and it's really hard to be super critical of anything they're doing.
As Haling just let that one sail out of bounds. That'll be marked off with a penalty. So 6:43 to go in the third. Deer Park 63-7.
What you got going on over there?
Just looking back over the last few years, they're approaching any type of high that they hit 70 back in 2022 against Rayburn. I think that about is as high as Deer Park has put up over the last several years. Handed off to Landry, trying to find something to do on the left side. Ball comes loose again. loses another fumble, and Deer Park recovers another one.
Well, you know, I was joking with you about you saying they're going to hit 100, but the way you're looking up these statistics, you're not doing yourself any favors. It's sounding like that's what you're thinking is going to happen. Is that true, Mason?
No. Aguilera coming away with the latest loose ball, and another drive. The Deer Park is going to start in Clearbrook territory.
I tell you what, it is one of those things where, you know, when it rains, it pours, and right now it is pouring all over Clearbrook, and Deer Park is the beneficiary of just about every single thing that could go wrong has gone wrong for Clearbrook. I mean,
it really started from the opening kickoff when they had the surprise onside go their way, negated due to a penalty. It's really been the story of the night, and Gamez gets a good hole along the right side. Gamez stiff arms through a defender, takes him with him down inside the 20. Great looking run, picking up a first down as Gamez picks up another 15.
And I think we got a new QB in the game, huh?
Looks like it. Saw him a little bit last week. Jack Gonzalez in there.
Okay. Yeah, so Gamez right there is inside zone or split zone where you got your fullback coming across the formation. He's kicking out the outside linebacker or D end on the opposite side, and he just presses that play side, and plenty of room to run. Same play here.
Hugo Gonzalez, this time he gets the carry. Trying to find a little bit of room along the right side. Not a whole lot there. Good job by the Clearbrook defense in pursuit and able to bring down Gonzalez after short pickup of long 2, maybe 3.
That was a good play because that looks like, is that number 4? I believe that's just, he's listed Chase Landry.
Yeah, a couple guys. I've seen Chase Landry in there, running back and wide receiver, using him on both sides.
He set the edge. He stayed outside, and he was able to catch him as he came right to him.
Now Rome Gomez, he'll get his first touch of the night, and he's got a nice shifty run through the middle and all the way down inside the 10, picking up a 1st and goal to the 5. Another 12 yards.
Great vision, but really better patience by him, because when you got 2 pullers coming around like that, sometimes that second puller seems like he's taking a sweet time to get around there and wrapped to the inside linebacker, but he waited just long enough for that second puller to get around, put a hand off it on the guy, and he cuts right off of that second puller's butt and makes it look really nice whenever it's blocked up and the running back sees it just the way it's supposed to be blocked up, you know.
Play clock inside of 10 seconds. 1st and goal for Deer Park at the 5. Gamez comes back on. Gonzalez hands it off to him. Gamez fights through the first contact, gets a little push from his quarterback into the end zone. Touchdown, Deer Park.
Great hard running by him. He bent back the inside zone that time towards kind of the kick out block by the fullback. And then it was just muscle running after contact.
Gamez powers his way. 2nd touchdown tonight. 3 running backs tonight with 2 touchdowns. Not a bad night of work. 337 yards on the ground for Deer Park tonight. And Deer Park now with 70 on the board with 4:25 to go. Here in the 3rd, taking advantage of another Clearbrook fumble, capped off by the touchdown run by the senior. Christian Gamez powers it in for his 2nd one tonight.
Well, you were wondering when we were going to see Gamez and that strong downhill running, and they were just saving him for the second half. He's making the best of that opportunity.
7 carries here in the 3rd quarter for 60 yards and a couple of touchdowns. So 21 points already on the board here for Deer Park in the 3rd.
Got some good dancers up in the crowd.
4 lost fumbles tonight by Clearbrook. Interception thrown as well. Another line drive kick. time taken by Dansby at about the 5. Hesitates at a moment. It's going to cost him as he gets maybe back to the 20.
His knee might not be feeling too good because that wasn't the same type of return we saw from, I mean, just
yeah,
a little slow. I mean, not really just hitting it full speed like it kind of did earlier.
Wonder if it might have stiffened up on him during halftime.
Yeah, you sit around a little too long.
Well, the Deer Park defense, even with some new faces in there here in the second half, still not bending or breaking. Coming away with a handful of turnovers here in the third. Late substitution coming on as Goad, the linebacker, late getting out there. 1st and 10. All kinds of time. Just going to sling it deep downfield. Has Dansby wide open. Great over-the-shoulder catch by Jaden Dansby inside the 30 and all the way to the end zone for the touchdown. 80 yards.
Man. Well, when you have that kind of time to just sit there and wind up and let it rip to a very fast athlete in Dansby, finding a soft spot kind of in that zone defense, or might have been just a breakdown in coverage. I was kind of caught up watching the D-line a little bit, but there was no pressure, so.
Yeah, long developing route. Dansby probably started along the far side of the field before finally making the catch near the numbers closest to us. Extra point on the way and good. And Clearbrook responds as Alfred completes to Jaden Dansby, and the trend continues.
Backfield, I think. That is sneaky. Anytime you got a guy coming out of the backfield like that, safeties, linebackers, gotta.
Dansby coming up on 200 yards of offense himself. Now 3 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown. He had a couple of receptions go for negative yardage in the first half, so he's back on the plus side after that long one right there. Clearbrook waiting on the Deer Park kickoff unit. John Arthur French and Trace Yates going to be the ones back deep. So still some starters out there taking a few snaps. And a deep kick, and Yates going to let this one go over his head into the end zone for the touchback.
He could certainly boom it, man. And that's one way to negate some big play capabilities that Deer Park has in the return game. Don't let them return it.
Your favorite kind of kick, right? Just when it's us kicking it.
Yeah, I prefer it whenever.
So Deer Park was 70 points on the board tonight, the most since 2022 when they hung 70 on Sam Rayburn back in October of 2022.
I think they're going to beat that.
You think they get one more?
I know you're counting on it. Oh, got a late guy lining up. Don't know if he knows the play.
1st and 10 at the 25. Keep it on the ground, and Deer Park, they can just run the ball at will. As looks like number 30 on that carry, Gomez.
They like to run that split zone. They'll bring right there, that was 86 coming across the formation to kind of do the kick out block. Luke Lloyd, double L, and man, he was bringing it. And that kick out block, and it ended up bending back to his side, and nice gashing run.
So Gonzalez in there, senior quarterback, getting some snaps. Got a few last week in the win over Clear Creek. Might have quite a bit more here in the second half. Inside of 3:30 to go in the third. And big, powerful run from Hugo Gonzalez, another senior. A lot of seniors getting a lot of the workload here in the second half on homecoming night. And they're just going to rotate those backs probably for the rest of the night as now Gamez comes back on.
Well, I expect to see a combination of their inside zone, power, and counter continue. Maybe just mix up kind of the way it looks.
Play clock inside of 10 seconds. Deer Park in no hurry. Second down and 3 with Gamez in the backfield. Gonzalez takes the snap, hand it to him. Gamez with a full head of steam right through the teeth of that defense. Nearly broke loose, but wrestled down at the 49. He'll pick up 7, enough to move the chains for another Deer Park first down.
You know the O-line is getting some good movement on the play when they just ran counter right there, and the second puller wraps around, and Gamez didn't even have to follow him. He had a hole on the backside of the play and just went straight downhill with it.
26th first down of the night for Deer Park. Now with it right near midfield. Fake the give to Collier. Gonzalez with some running room, and the senior quarterback with a good looking run inside the 40. Another first down run for Deer Park down to the Brook 38-yard line.
I love that run by him. There was no left-right lateral motion at all. He was straight downhill, never deviated, all the way till he was down on the ground. It was getting vertical. QB counter, one of my favorite plays in the game. It's just, when you got a quarterback that's willing to hit it downhill like that, it's a lot of people use it. And there's a good reason why.
He picked up 13 there. First and 10. Back on the ground, Gonzalez with a good hole. Tries to stiff arm by a man inside the 30. Wrestled down in what might have been a touchdown saving tackle by the freshman Haley. He has had a busy night out there at cornerback.
Yeah, man, I thought he was going to maybe be able to stiff arm him and bounce it and take that thing to the house, but he latched on and he did not let go.
Inside of a minute to go here, third quarter. As Gonzalez picked up another first down chunk of 11. Gamez back on. Ball at the Brook 27-yard line. Gamez again finds a little bit of a hole along the left side. And they're just going to hold Gamez to a 6-yard gain on first down on what should be the final play of the third quarter. Deer Park coming up on 400 yards of offense on the ground. They're sitting at 385. They're looking to cross the 400 mark in the fourth. But after 3, Deer Park, they had 21 more points to the total, and we head to the final 12. Deer Park 70, Clearbrook 14. Back with the final 12 here on homecoming night. Deer Park going to send this home crowd home happy. All right, here's your chance. You've been asking for it all season long, Shane. Dance cam.
Get it on me.
All right, you got to look at these moves to see what you're going to have to beat. All right, the sprinkler, you can beat that. These kids not doing much of anything.
The double arm pump? I got that move. What's that, the motorcycle? I've got the motorcycle.
You can certainly beat all of these so far.
I don't know about that one. The shimmy's good. Not quite there yet.
Oh, the Macarena.
The jump and wave.
Okay.
It's the go-to.
Come on, escorts.
I got in there. I was in the background.
Opening up the fourth quarter here. 2nd and 5. Little option look. Gonzalez with a keeper finds a hole along the middle before making his cut down to the 20. Does a good job to pick up just a couple.
kind of didn't get my eyes on the O-line initially to really see. It looked like they ran power up front with an option, wide option. He ended up getting back down the way it was blocked up. It was just kind of weird, the backfield action, I guess, to me.
Yeah, kind of a slow developing play. Wasn't sure if it was meant to look like an option play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was a little confused also by the backfield action. It didn't quite. I've seen him do that before, but it looked a little bit more laterally, and that's some of the things that you get whenever you got guys that maybe don't take as many reps in the in practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it could have just been the steps and everything was a little bit too deep or whatever.
They reset the play clock, and since they do, Deer Park going to go back to the huddle as the clock continues to wind. 3rd down and 3. Ball sitting just outside the 20-yard line on a night where Deer Park has over 500 yards of offense. Empty backfield look here on 3rd down. Now motion Gonzalez, fake the give, and wrapped up and brought down, and the quarterback Jack Gonzalez goes nowhere.
Oof, yeah, it looked like the read man came right to you, man. This might be one you give when you're kind of hard to tell, but it looked like it was zone read right there, zone to the quarterback, or the perimeter's blocked up like outside zone to the running back, and maybe that's one you want to give away when looks like somebody's coming off scot-free off the edge. You might be reading.
So 4th down, and looks like the offense will stay out there. Content with if they get it, they can burn more clock. If they don't, obviously no harm there. Gamez comes back on. He's lined up in the slot. Top of the screen. There'll be another design quarterback run for the quarterback, Jack Gonzalez, trying to fight, keeps his feet moving, gets a little push from his offensive line, down for the 1st down to the 15. Initial contact was well shy of the 1st down, but he just kept on fighting.
He wanted that, and great run by him.
New set of downs for Deer Park. And we saw Caleb Wingo a little bit shaken up in the 1st half. Hope he's okay. We thought this is certainly a situation we would have seen him on the field at some point. 1st down and 10. More whistles come in, and it looks like Deer Park going to take a timeout with 8:53 to go in the ball game.
Yeah, I spied old Wingo Dingo earlier, and I thought he was sitting down still, but a little bit of where's Wingo? I'm looking for him.
Deer Park going to extend their winning streak to 4 games here tonight, going into the bye week before we're coming back 2 Fridays from now on the road, taking on Clear Lake. And that will be at, I believe, Veterans Memorial, the one on the campus of Clear Creek. So not Challenger, but Veterans Memorial there at Clear Creek. Certainly a tricky press box to get into with our equipment, I'll say that. You got to climb a straight vertical ladder like you're in a submarine.
What do we, okay.
So we're just going to strap that giant box to your back, and you're going to climb through. 1st and 10. Hand it off.
Cut it.
Jet sweep inside the 15, now back out. Nice looking run there by Isaiah Ramirez, the wide out.
Yeah, a little bit of outside zone, and he cuts it up right off a nice block on the perimeter there.
Good looking run, but still only picked up a couple.
Yeah, those ones where you're starting off going laterally, it always feels like a lot more yards.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not able to fully turn the corner.
So Hugo Gonzalez back in there at running back. Quarterback Jack Gonzalez set to take the snap. Handed off. Number 12, who is on the homecoming court, gets a nice looking run, fighting through some arm tackles and takes it inside the 10. Number 12, Nicholas Garza, another senior, like we said, on that homecoming court.
Did he win? I didn't see.
He did not. Allen, I believe, won.
Well, I tell you what, he did a good job on that play right there because he was looking to cut it back up. It was actually well defended. They strung it out, but whoever was outside on that lead block, kind of the Jets outside zone play, what they ran, maintained the block long enough that he was able to just bounce it and still get vertical for some positive yards at least.
So Cullen Landry a little bit shaken up after that play, heads towards the sideline. He'll be out here for 4th down. Gamez on at running back. No lead block for Ramirez, trying to turn the corner again, trying to work his way through that defense, and he does down inside the 10. All kinds of flags thrown, though, on the backside of the play, back at around the 15.
Oh, probably a holding call. And it was.
Yeah, Ramirez, he was just kind of shifting, not really sure where to make his cut.
You know, that's why they do the hand signals. Is we don't need the microphone.
Yeah.
They signal it to us. We
lost his microphone privileges.
Yeah, that was the MVP call there.
So they'll accept the penalty. So 3rd down and 16. Empty backfield look here, but the running back, Rome Gomez.
Oh.
Keeper by Jack Gonzalez, starts up the middle, tries to bounce it right side, nothing doing. He'll lose a couple. And another late flag thrown.
She has a hard time finding it in the moment sometimes. Notice it takes a second to get it out, but possibly a face mask call. I couldn't quite tell from up here going the opposite direction. Oh, they waved it off. He said, no, that's not a flag, whatever.
So for Clearbrook, going to drop to 0-6 on the year.
Pretty presumptuous of you.
Give me a break.
Yeah, Deer Park needs to be careful. It looked like we might have had a couple guys rocking forward in their stance right before the snap, so you want to make sure you're playing clean football here.
4th down, straight handoff for Gonzalez up the middle, and he lowers his shoulder into a couple of defenders, taking it down to the 19. Turnover on downs, and 6:35 left. So coming up for Clearbrook, they'll be back at home taking on Clear Creek next week. Then they've got Clear Falls, Clear Lake before finishing out their regular season schedule at home versus Brazos Wood. We mentioned Deer Park going to head into the bye week. Nice little 4-game winning streak heading into the break. Final 4 for Deer Park at Clear Lake, at home, back here in a couple weeks or a few weeks from now versus Brazos Wood. Hand it off here on 1st down as Clearbrook tries to get the running game going again. Looked like Dansby on the carry. And even with the score the way it is, surprised that Dansby has played just about every snap, it seems like, offensively.
He's been a shiny spot for otherwise dark game for them this whole.
Quick throw by Alfred. That ball looked like it was backwards, but they're going to rule it incomplete. And offside's actually going to negate everything here. As that flag thrown from the far side of the field. It's going to be the 9th accepted penalty called on Deer Park. So we mentioned Clear Lake.
Well, I thought they weren't calling penalties anymore.
Second down and 1. Halfway point of the fourth quarter. Alfred takes the snap. Straight handoff for Dansby. Met and wrapped down from behind. Number 33, Trace Calhoun, the sophomore linebacker. Saw a lot of time as a freshman at tight end last year. Like making the switch to the defensive side of things.
Okay.
Now,
was he in? Is he the one that was injured at the beginning of the season? Maybe.
He also wore number 43 last year, from what I recall. And now line it up in the middle, and there he is again. Got to the arm tackle. He does have that left hand kind of taped up, and look at Dansby fighting through all that contact. It's actually number 18, Rome Jordan, but just would not be brought down. Good looking burst there from Jordan.
Yeah, I like you pointed out Trace right now, just getting a chance to look at the young guy. He was right there in position. He read the pull perfectly. Don't know if that cast has something to do. I think he might have broke his wrist or hand earlier in the season, if I remember correctly. And coaches will give him a minute to maybe think about that missed opportunity right there.
36 yards right there from Jordan has the ball at the Deer Park 34. Jordan stays in at running back. Quick little curl route, pass incomplete. I think C.J. Walker could have had himself an interception.
Certainly looked that way. The ball was, timing of that hitch route was a little bit off. I don't even think he'd even turned around by the time the ball went by him.
Yeah, thrown so far out in front of the intended target. Walker, I think, probably had the best shot at it. 2nd and 10. This ball gets off the hands of Alfred again. 3rd time that's happened tonight, and he'll just throw it into the Clearbrook bench. The 3rd mishandled snap tonight for Clearbrook, and that has been about the best outcome with each one.
Yeah.
Lost about 15 on one play, lost a fumble on the other one. 3rd down and 10 following the incompletion. Ball spotted, 34-yard line. Clearbrook, 3rd down and 10. Alfred takes a snap cleanly here. Throws, has man open at the 35 and sliding down at about the 33. Jordan Palacios on the catch.
Good job rallying. He just ran a little bubble out there, and there's no reason to rush to it if you have a good angle. And just rally to it. It ends up only being a 1-yard gain on the bubble.
4th down and 9. So not a whole lot of Jaden Dansby on this drive. And Clearbrook going to take a timeout here. So I mentioned coming off the bye week, on the road at Clear Lake, back home here on the 24th versus Brazos Wood, and then toughest part of your district schedule, the final 2 weeks at Clear Springs on Halloween night. Then on the regular season finale, final home game as well. The Dickinson Gators coming into town, and Dickinson have looked very impressive through this first half of the year. But you saw some things that this Clearbrook team was able to do to Dickinson that kind of surprised you.
Well, watching a little bit of film, they got some penetration. They had a forced fumble.
50-yard field goal coming up attempt. And going to be well short and wide left. But just trying to test out the leg.
Well, we know he's got the leg for it. By some of these kickoffs he's done,
yeah,
man. He can boom it. I don't think the hold got all the way down there and squared up for him. Laces out.
But going back to that Clearbrook Dickinson, you, like you said, you
Well, yeah.
saw some things.
Yeah, it looked. I didn't watch a ton of it. I'll be honest. It did get out of hand, but I did see them get some good penetration on the quarterback. Had a forced fumble that they recovered, and you know, Dickinson is just like any other team out there. Everyone's beatable,
Rome Gomez on the call. Good hole inside the 40. Gomez stays on his feet as he crosses midfield, almost hand fighting his way inside the 45. Great looking run there by Gomez, the senior.
The split zone again, he just bends it back to that kick out block, and it is just wide open there for him to go downhill, and then he kind of, you know, he's olaying some guys by him with the hand out front.
Takes it to the Brook 43-yard line inside of 4 minutes to go. Hugo Gonzalez comes on after that 24-yard run by Gomez. Gonzalez going to get a crack at it. He hits the hole with a full head of steam, and it takes several white jerseys to bring him down as he picks up 7 down to the 36.
Great opportunity for your, you know, some of these backup linemen as well to work on their blocking combinations and working up to the next level right there. You know, we talked about getting a healthy dose of zone and gap running scheme. They were in power again right there, and he's hitting it downhill, and they're getting some good movement.
So just almost a 3-man revolving door here in the second half at that running back spot as Gomez going to get another crack here. You got to believe on second down. Hand it off to him. A little bit of a mishandled snap by Gonzalez. Just tried to get it off to Gomez as quickly as he could. Gomez going to lose a couple.
Well, I just got done praising these guys on some of their blocking, and right there was they lost the battle. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. Well, they lost that one, and D-line was able to shuck off a couple of the blockers. Looked like the pin back block on the backside came off, and he ended up stuffing it.
Loss of a yard. Third down, 4 to go. Gomez back on at the running back spot, and straight run for Jack Gonzalez, trying to find a little bit of room along the right side. And this pile going to be whistled dead at the 36. 2-minute timeout taken. And all Deer Park in this one. Got out to a 28-0 lead in the first quarter and never looked back. Deer Park with only 1 punt tonight. It's always a good sign.
Yeah. Means you're executing the plays you want and getting first downs and touchdowns. And that one punt was after a series of 3 passes in a row.
Yeah.
And not short passes. They were looking downfield to hit some big ones.
Yeah, trying to hit, I think, Braylon Aston Jackson on a couple that were a little bit out of his range. But Deer Park averaging over 9 yards per play tonight. Obviously, here in the second half, that average has come down a little bit, even with just the straight handoffs they've been doing. But fourth down, hand it off to Gonzalez. Met at the line, tries to keep his feet moving to pick up that first down. He's going to be a yard shy, though, and Deer Park will turn over the ball on downs. But the offense able to do pretty much what they want throughout the night, especially on the ground. Over 400 yards of rushing tonight. But the defense as well, they gave up some big plays once they figured out, Clearbrook was able to figure out that Dansby was who they needed to get the ball to, and basically any fashion they could. But for the most part, defense played pretty lights out. Forced 5 turnovers tonight, 4 fumbles, interception.
Yeah, again, it's hard to be super critical when you're up 70-14, but you still had some negative plays that you want to certainly work on eliminating.
Big collision there, Jose Santos.
Yeah, he came up quick and took a helmet to the face mask, but was able to bring him down. Good job by the young man there.
Santos and Jordan meet. Jordan able to pick up a couple. This time, keeper by Alfred, little RPO, finds a man, no, bobbled in and out of his hands, incomplete. Trying to hit, I believe, his fullback, number 42, Michael Perez, actually tight end, out of the backfield there. Stops the clock with 1:19 to go, 3rd down and 8. Oh, scratch that, a offside penalty. That is certainly one area where you could be a little critical of Deer Park tonight. Another penalty, and obviously these are guys that don't get as many of the reps, but even throughout the first half, still quite a bit of penalties in the first half as well. 2nd down and 3. Back on the ground for Jordan along the left side, picks up the 1st down, spinning his way up ahead to midfield.
Well, they got a little movement right there on the on the offensive line against the Deer Park defensive line, and he just pressed it forward for a nice 1st down run right there.
So final 60 seconds to go in this one. Jordan again looking for a hole along the left side. Now cuts back against the grain. Jordan staying on his feet. He's got blockers out in front, taking it inside the 40 before being taken down inside the 35. Good vision by Rome Jordan, the junior.
Yeah, the backside defense, you gotta make sure you're not falling asleep. It looks like inside run going the other way. It's getting strung out by the D-line, doing a good job there, but then he just bounces it and reverses field. You got to be on your toes if you're on the backside of that.
Might be the final play of the game. Hand it off to Jordan. Again, just patiently finding something to develop along the right side. Hurdles a man inside the 25 before being spun out of bounds at about the 22. And that should be final play of the game. Deer Park looking impressive on both sides of the ball tonight. Dominant win. 70 points on the board here on homecoming as they take care of business against Clearbrook and send the crowd home happy. Deer Park now extends their winning streak to 4 games, improved to 3-0 in district. As here you see some final highlights of this 4th quarter. There you see Gomez just slapping his way through that Clearbrook defense.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Coach Flynn was the first one over there to give Dansby a big old hug and let him know what kind of talent he showed off on that side of the ball for sure, because he did a lot.
Yeah, 129 yards on the ground. Added another 76 through the air. He was basically the engine of this Clearbrook offense. Anything or any type of success that they had tonight was going through the senior running back, Jaden Dansby, but just not enough as Deer Park, with the depth and able to take advantage of Clearbrook mistakes throughout the night, setting up tons of short fields, and Deer Park just able to take advantage. Got to the quarterback as well a couple times. Here you see the extended play from LaFrenz to John Arthur French, who found space, and the shotgun snap so demoralizing and detrimental to Clearbrook tonight. Yates had a great night, over 100 yards on the ground. Zuniga not far behind him, finishes the night with 87 yards on 7 carries, a couple touchdowns. Gamez, 10 carries for 71 and a couple touchdowns. LaFrenz added a touchdown on the ground as well. And Deer Park, like we said, just dominant tonight. 70 points against Clearbrook. Not a bad way to head into the bye week.
Not a bad way at all. Like I said, just more opportunities to get better and make sure you're very, very critical of your own self, even in a win, even in a blowout win, and come back after the bye week and continue to improve, right?
And they'll get a little bit of a chance to catch their breath before going back on the road and finishing out the final 4 games of the season. 2 weeks from tonight on the road, taking on Clear Lake down at Veterans Memorial on the campus of Clear Creek High School. So if you can't make it down there for that one, you can also listen to us on the audio feed on the Deer Network. But for everybody here at the Deer Network, Mason Pratt here signing off. The Deer Park Band getting ready to perform their homecoming performance. So we'll leave the crowd mic live for you there, but we are going to step aside. And until we see you back here on the video stream in a couple weeks, have a great, safe weekend. Deer Park heading into the bye week with a dominant win, 70-14, the final score. Good night, everybody.